Hi everyone. I was actually coming to record my skin, so I took off my makeup and I just finished working out and taking a shower. And I know my hair looks a mess, but I gotta wash it. I'm gonna wash it this weekend and retwist it. I've been sporting the twist, and I have smaller twists. I think the last time I showed you my twist, I showed you, and they were a little bit bigger than this, but I'm going to retwist it. And I'm showing you I'm drinking water. Um, anyway, but before I do my skin, talk about my skin and talk about, uh, actually, I'm probably going to do a few videos because I don't want them to be long, so I'm not going to put them all on one. Do a few short videos. I kind of wanted to talk about a conversation that I had with um, a client of mine. Um, I'm a transformational empowerment coach. And so, um, what I'm doing here is basically putting into practice the things that I coach about and how I help people achieve their goals and how you have to be steadfast and unmovable to attain your own goals. The way I put it is if you can't support yourself, who else? Why do you expect anyone else to support you? And so, in doing that, it means sometimes you have to step outside of your comfort zone. But I'm not here to coach. I'm here just to kind of talk about what's going on in my life. So, anyway, I had this conversation with a client about lying and how we lie intentionally and how we lie unintentionally. But nevertheless, it's lying. Um, and as a business owner, it doesn't really do well for your business if people think you're not a man or a woman of your word. Um, and I know life happens, right? So you have every good intention of doing something, and life happens, and so therefore you don't accomplish what you had intended to do. And then my question to her was simply this: so, what does that say about you? If your good intentions never come about, if you always intend to do good, but you don't do it, what does that say about you? And she didn't really have much to say about that because she had never thought about it. But on the other hand, she was upset with her husband. I guess she had told her husband she wanted to do some things over the holidays, and some of the things she wanted to achieve for next year, and he didn't get excited about it. And she called me up, and it wasn't our normal time, but she just said she needed to talk, and she didn't want to take a lot of my time, but she wanted to talk about some things. And I normally give my clients what I call two emergency calls a month, because sometimes there's just times where it's not, something happens and you need to get to someone and talk about it. And so I give them that two emergency calls a month. um and so she used her emergency call, and she called me, and she was upset that her husband wasn't being supportive of her, that her husband wasn't um happy that she wanted to accomplish these things. And I said, well, in the past, when you have told him that you wanted to accomplish something, what happened? And she said, well, basically, some things I accomplish and some things I don't accomplish. And I said, well, are the things you accomplish the small things, the big things, medium sized things? Give me a little bit more. And she said, most of them are the small to medium, and the real big ones she sometimes bails out on. And I said, well, can you see the pattern there? And okay, so don't want to give our whole conversation, but that let you know how our conversation went. Well, long story short, to get off the phone with her, um, I started thinking about that. I started thinking about in my own life how, sometimes I have good intentions. I say I'm going to do something, case in point, this channel. I said, from the beginning when I started it, I was going to start it, I think, September 1st, and that kind of fell through and that didn't happen. Actually, I think I was supposed to start it August the 1st. That didn't happen. So then it was September the 1st. That didn't happen. And then I said, once I did start it, I think in sometime in September, I did actually come on and talk and and then I didn't have the products, and then I didn't have this, and it wasn't. It's not a money issue. It's not a desire issue. It's just issues come up, and there were things that I put over what I was doing here, but I'm just as committed to this as I am to anything else in my life. And so my thing was, okay, so here you are, coaching people, telling people to be a man and a woman of their word, and you can stand to do better yourself. And I think that as you start to transform, as things start to come to you, you have to deal with those things. You have to look at yourself and say exactly where you are and take responsibility for your decisions and your non decisions, and understand that if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, simple fact is it's a lie. And there are other things that may come into place. There are other things that may come into place. I hate water, you guys. I'm forcing myself to drink it. That's why I put it there. But there's other things that will come into place that will absolutely cause you to have to govern yourself accordingly. But the thing about it, I think the thing that I'm walking away with this whole thing, because 2012 is coming up, and I don't want to be in the same place next year that I'm in this year. I don't want to, I want to be able to release weight. I want to be able to clear up my skin. I want to be able to know when I have an acne breakout, how to work with it and deal with it, since that's where I am in life right now. I'm breaking out with acne, and right now my little chin is just filled with little bumps, and you can see, if you've been watching, I have more black spots on my face than I even did when I started this. um and now I'm realizing that even if I don't scratch them, pick at them, like I do have a habit of doing that, but even if I don't, like, some of these you can see, well, I'm on the wrong cheek, this cheek, yeah, this cheek. Some of them, they just make scars, the bumps, if they come out, and whatever, that, even on my eye up here on this side, uh whoops, on this side, you can see that even the bump itself will leave what I call a skin bruise. Yeah, I got all kinds of words, but the thing is, going back to what I want to talk about on this video, is the thing is being consistent in knowing that, okay, I said I was going to do something, and now let me take responsibility that I didn't do it. Let me apologize for not doing what I said I was going to do, and let me readjust it. Also, I don't know if some of you have this issue, but I know this is something I had to overcome when I started my company. I tend to get these wonderful ideas, these great ideas, and I want to run with them. And because I feel that my life allows me to do a quick turnaround, I'll say, okay, well, in 2 weeks, I'm going to do this. And then life happens and I don't get it done, and then because I want to get it done when I said I want to get it done, I'm then throwing something together and putting it out, and it's not my best. And so even in that, I want to stop doing all of that. I want to start managing my time in a way that I can get everything done that I said I was going to get done, and leave, excuse me, leave opportunity for stuff to happen. Life happens sometimes. And what I want to say, this is I'm ending it. I didn't even want to talk this long on it, but what I want to say is that if you say you're going to do something, do what you say. And if you have to adjust it for whatever reason, say, apologize for it, adjust it, but don't just let it go on and go on, and don't ever think I don't have to do it. You know, I had a friend that told me they were going to do something several years ago and they never did it. And just this year, they came up to me and said, "You know what? I'm sorry I didn't do this. Let me do it now." And they did it. And to me, that says, even though it's 5 years past due, it says something about her character to me that you, even 5 years later, remember that you said you were going to do that and you did it. Period. That's what I walk away with, and that's what people will walk away with when you do it. So, just tell me what do you think about lying and intentionally and unintentionally? Our good intentions. There's a saying out there: good intentions will get you nowhere. So again, that's just how I felt. Just something I wanted to put out there. Is neither here nor there. But I just wanted to talk about when we say stuff, to really take mind of what we say and what we promise people, because somewhere somebody is counting on that, right? All right, you be blessed and be blessed and encouraged.